Oh yeah. Wait a minute, girl, can you slow down? Wait a minute, girl, what's the rush now? I wanna introduce myself to you. My name is one-on-one guy to prefer now. I like the way you put your fists together. I like the way you do your hair in the morning. I see why all the boys want you, girl. YouTube. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. People of all ages out there, whether you're listening on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or anywhere where you can get the top of the morning show. It is Wednesday morning, 5:01 a.m. This is literally top of the morning. The sun isn't even out yet, but we're live, baby. We got a lot to talk about here. Update on the Washington Commanders says that's something that we're probably going to be keeping track of every single day until it's ink to paper. Got the NFC East quarterbacks getting paid. Got the NBA playoffs. And you got the NFL draft coming up. So we got a lot to talk about here on episode 17 of Top of the Morning Show hosted by Juan Gotti. Let's waste no more time and get straight into opening statement. So, first thing that I want to talk about here is why am I up so early? Why am I up so early? You know, typically we go for 9 a.m. or 7. But I wanted to see if people would join out there when we're literally at the top of the morning. Again, it's not even sunrise yet. It's still dark outside. And I wanted to see if more people would join here. Or if anybody would listen out there. And would you like for this to be the new time or something like that? Just trying new things and see if it sticks or whatnot. So that's why I did that. And then we'll most likely be back to our normal time on Friday. But I also wanted to talk about the Commanders sale, obviously. That's the hottest topic, right, in these streets. So officially, the Commanders sale has been sent to the NFL for approval. And it is it's came back that some minor issues is wrong with it, but nothing, I guess, to stop the NFL from approving Josh Harris and his group from getting this deal done. But let's read an article on the actual statement from the Athletic regarding to the NFL or regarding the Commander sale agreement sent to the NFL. It says the Josh Harris led group seeking to buy the Washington Commanders forwarded a proposed $6.5 billion purchase of the team to the NFL that includes language to partly identify outgoing owner Dan Snyder for future litigation stemming from the many pending investigations into the tenure, according to a person close to Harris. So you already know that's what Dan Snyder wanted, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Snyder, he wanted to make sure whoever buys this team will not try to speak on him in any negative way. And that is pretty much in the agreement of whoever buys this team, is that you won't speak on me in any negative way. And he's not afraid to take you to court. So if he does in fact do that, that's something that can happen, I guess. But that's not surprising at all that he's even looking for something like that. He's basically saying, once I sell this team, NFL, leave me alone. I don't want anything else to do with you all. The provision would partially protect Dan Snyder from legal liability based on the outcome of the probes. Sportico first reported the bid has been forwarded to the NFL. The move is quite unusual, as sale agreements typically only get sent to the league by the selling team once an agreement is signed. What to know about where things stand? The person close to Harris said there are some issues that need approval from the league, like indemnification before the contract can be signed, and that is why it was forwarded to the NFL. The indemnification provision would be between Harris and Snyder, not the league. Snyder has been seeking that cover from both the buyer and the league. Why the Harris Group needs the league approval is unclear, but it's been widely reported that Snyder has not been communicating with the league. The developments emerged as the league awaits the Mary Jo White reports on investigations into whether Snyder harassed a female employee and if the team hid revenue from the other 31 clubs. Despite all this, the Harris offer is still not exclusive, with a rival group led by Canadian businessman Steve Papadopoulos still hovering in the background. It is unclear if his bid has the proper financing. Harris' bid is bolstered by a partnership with local billionaire Mitchell Rouse, each of whom has a higher reported net worth than the Canadian. So that's a little bit on that. Then they start going into the backstory of how Dan Snyder bought the Commanders. We don't need to hear that. We already know the story on how Dan Snyder bought the Commanders. So that's where we stand right now. It seems as if he sent the approval for indemnification to the NFL, not because he had to, but because that's what Dan Snyder wanted. And they're basically saying that it's between Snyder and Harris to work that out. Right? It's between Snyder and Harris to work that out, not the NFL. But I mean, I'm pretty sure there were other reasons why he sent it to the NFL. You have to get approved by other owners to purchase a team. So there's other reasons as to why it was sent to the league. It wasn't just that, but that was the main reason that a lot of people wanted to point out. But that's really between those two. They will have to figure that out. Now, with that being said, again, us fans, we just want it done. So we're one step closer again to getting that completed. One step closer to getting that completed, and that's going to be a great feeling whenever that happens, to be honest with you. Again, I was already off the wall when it happened, when it happened in principle. But when all this gets approved, I probably would say maybe after the draft, because the draft is next Thursday. After the draft, I would venture to say that then it would get completed. But we'll see. This thing has been dragged on long enough, and I wish it was a much quicker transition, but I understand. Something like this isn't just something you put together overnight, obviously. This is a whole entire organization we're talking about. This is a whole entire business. So for this business to be worth this much money, this isn't nothing that just happens overnight. It's essentially what I'm saying. So that's all I really have when it comes to the Commanders. So you already know we're keeping a close eye on it. It'd be different. Like if I wasn't a fan of this team and this was not my team that was getting sold, I probably would talk about it every so often. But the fact that this is my team, my whole channel is based around the Washington Commanders, which I hope y'all out there can support me, because again, it's been a little bit down lately, on the channel, but hopefully we could shake back and get back right. We keep grinding. I ain't going nowhere. But this is my team. I love my team. Been a fan of this team all my life. I'm from this area, so this is something I'm gonna report on every single day until it's over, because it's involved in something that I love, something that is dear and close to my heart. My Washington Commanders. So I'm gonna cover it every single day until until it's official. Then we're throwing a party. They already have the Buy Dan. They had a Buy Dan banner, and I think the highway in like Atlanta or something. That was cool. You got the Buy Dan beer at the brewery at a brewery in VA. So a lot of people are starting to celebrate, man, and I can only imagine what it's gonna look like when that deal is inked. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. Quickly, if you're listening out there, please do me a favor and like this video, subscribe if you're new, and if you're on YouTube, it's free. It costs nothing. Literally. This is probably one of the only things in this day and age that's still free, is subscribing and viewing stuff on YouTube. It's free, totally free. You don't have to do anything. Don't cost you a thing to subscribe. And if you're listening on the podcast platform, it doesn't cost anything to share out the podcast. It's literally free to leave a 5-star rating. It's free to download it. Like, it's free. It's all free. That's one of our favorite words as humans. Is hearing things are free. And typically, when they say things are free, it's always some type of catch. No catch here. No catch at all. It's 100% free. So please, man, please support a brother out and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. And share my videos and share the podcast out to the net. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the next topic here. NFC East quarterbacks. My division, where my Washington Commanders play. 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks in the division has got paid. Obviously, Dak Prescott kicked the things off a couple years ago, getting his massive deal. Then earlier this offseason, Daniel Jones of the New York Giants got himself a pretty nice deal. And then 2 days ago, Monday, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts has gotten a $255 million 5-year contract extension, with his AAV being $51 million a year, making him the highest paid quarterback of all time. Now, you're going to hear that every single time, okay? Jalen Hurts, highest paid quarterback right now. Joe Burrow is then probably going to set that market. Justin Herbert, or should I say Justin Herbert, then probably Joe Burrow. It's only going to get higher, bro. But yeah, he's getting paid about $255 million as a total contract, $179 million guaranteed. Now, I know the Eagles, they have sweetened it up, or they have finagled it to make it seem like it's not that much, but overall earnings, bro, he's making $255 million. So it doesn't matter how you try to put it. It doesn't matter how you try, how cute you try to make it. Like, what is it, like $6 million in 1 year or something like that? It doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, he's getting paid $255 million at the end of the day, at the end of his 5 years. So it really doesn't matter how you try to cut it. You know what I'm saying? And again, rightfully deserved though, bro. Like, that's one thing. Jalen Hurts, bro, he deserves his contract. He does, because he proved a lot of people wrong out there. A lot of people didn't believe Jalen Hurts was a quarterback one in this league. A lot of people didn't believe that Jalen Hurts was going to do what he did this past season. And who could have saw that though? Like, unless you're an Eagles fan and you genuinely saw Jalen Hurts really doing what he did last year, bro, which is hard to believe because, I mean, nobody really expected that from him. He deserves it, and I wish he wasn't. I wish he is not successful in Philly anymore, only because he is playing in my favorite team's division. If Jalen Hurts played for the Titans, played for the Steelers, play for any other NFC East conference, NFC conference, I should say, I would be a fan of Jalen Hurts and I would root for Jalen Hurts. But he plays for one of the teams that I hate the most in the Philadelphia Eagles. So I wish nothing but poor play on him. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he plays all 17 games. But for the sake of wanting my team to be better than his, I hope he has a poor season. But man, his work ethic, the guy as a person, don't know him, but from afar, he seems like a good guy, man. Seems like a humble guy. Seems like a person that works really hard. And to be honest with you, man, after he transferred to Oklahoma, and I'm not the biggest college football watcher, okay? So take my opinion with a grain of salt. But after he had transferred to Oklahoma, I was like, maybe that's the end of Jalen Hurts, and he was good at Oklahoma still, but to go from Alabama to Oklahoma, I was like, dang, maybe this is the end of Jalen Hurts. Like, maybe he isn't nothing after that. Now, I always thought he could make it to the NFL, you know what I'm saying? And when the Eagles took him, a lot of people were surprised because they still had Carson Wentz. And honestly, watching that draft, I want to say I was surprised, but hindsight, that's the greatest thing that Howie Roseman has ever done. Because, he outsmarted everybody. While everybody was so shocked that he made that pick. And I don't even think that it was necessarily that he went Jalen Hurts. I think it was just the round he took him in. If he would have took Jalen Hurts in the third, which he probably wouldn't have been there, so that's why he did it. But if he would have took Jalen Hurts in the third, in the fourth round or something like that, nobody would have had a problem with it. It's the fact that he took him in the second, and you still had a franchise quarterback at the time in Carson Wentz. But what they don't know is that Howie Roseman had already basically saw, like, you can't stay healthy. That man Carson Wentz, you're mentally fragile. And the things in the wheel are starting to fall off here. So let me go ahead and think ahead of the game, prepare myself for the departure of Carson Wentz, and put myself in a position to where we don't even have to suffer that. We can make a seamless transition from Carson Wentz to Jalen Hurts. And look what they did. At times, man, even though these are my rivals, at times I wish my team would do things like that, bro. Like, I just wish. Like, we're headed in the right direction. Okay? No more Dan Snyder. That was the last, that was the biggest / last block to really start this thing over. And now he's gone. So that's good. But I do be wishing sometimes my team would do things like that. Think outside the box instead of being so regular. But hopefully we'll get there one day. But man, yeah, he deserves every penny, man. And 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks in the NFC East is paid. Now, Washington's quarterback Sam Howell has not got paid, clearly, because he's going into his second year and he hasn't really done nothing yet. But the positive about that is he is on a rookie deal. So if Sam Howell is in fact that guy, and he's in fact one of these young, bright quarterbacks, next up, we'll have him for 3 more years before we have to pay him. Now, again, if Sam Howell is in fact that dude, you would then have to pay him, but you should probably do it as quickly as possible, in a sense, or like sooner rather than later kind of thing, because if you wait, you're gonna have to pay him more. But at the end of the day, if he's that guy, okay, you ain't gonna have no problem with paying him however much he wants. At least you should. So maybe not, you don't have to necessarily rush to pay him because you're willing to pay whatever it takes to get him around. But right now, and we live live in the flesh, Washington's positive is that they have their guy on a rookie contract for the next 3 years. And that means a lot because you can then make plenty of moves. There's no excuses for why Washington can't make moves to surround their quarterback with as much talent as possible. Whether that's getting more offensive line help, getting a new tight end, or even on the defensive side, re-signing some of your own like Cam Curl, Montez Sweat, others. We're in a spot where we can do that. Now, here's the thing. The positive about the other teams having their quarterback, having guys that they have paid, is that they have a franchise guy, and that's the ultimate goal, to be real with you. That's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal isn't to be having your guy on a rookie contract. The ultimate goal is to have your franchise guy here for as long as possible. So I'm not necessarily saying like that's the greatest thing ever. Well, we're in a good spot to where we don't even have to pay our guy, and he can necessarily be the next big thing, and he could take the next leap, and we can compete because the NFC right now, as it stands, is pretty mid, with Jalen Hurts probably being the best quarterback in this conference. You know, with Aaron Rodgers going to be gone on draft night, more likely than not, to the Jets. The Jets, you know, that thing has been going on for a long time. It's just a matter of time. I'm very curious to see what that trade is going to look like because it's taking so long. Imagine it's taking this long for like just a second and a third or something like that, bro. But this conference is wide open, man. Essentially what I'm saying. This conference is wide open, and Washington has a chance to take full advantage of that. With our talent that we already have on this roster around Sam Howell, we can continue to add more. And then the defense is not too bad either. You get me a cornerback in this year's draft, maybe a linebacker. We're good. Getting healthy Chase Young back. Hopefully he can finally amount to something. Got Montez Sweat going into a contract year. Cam Curl, same thing. This team is ready to ball. We just been missing a quarterback, and hopefully Sam Howell could be that. Now, this episode wasn't going to be that long to begin with because we started so early, to be real with you. So this is going to be like a 30-minute episode, which is fine because we back at it on Friday. You know, that's the day before the fight between Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. NBA playoffs is in full swing, so we'll have more NBA playoffs to talk about. And we're one step closer to the NFL draft. So it's a lot to talk about. But let's go ahead and actually recap the NBA playoffs from yesterday. It was some good games. You know, I watched a little bit of the Suns and Clippers game, but I knew the Suns was going to shake back. That's why I didn't really watch that much of it. I watched the first half, but it was pretty late, so I was like, let me go to sleep because I knew I was going to be getting up this early anyway. But got the Hawks versus Boston. The Celtics won 119 and 106. That series is a sweep. Okay, nobody really thought the Hawks could compete. So we knew that game, that series was gonna be, if not 4-0, only had the Hawks getting one for real. But Derek White with 26 points. He stepped up huge for Boston last night. The Knicks Cavs. This is a series that everybody believes is going 7, including myself. Cavaliers bounced back after dropping game 1 on their home floor, 107-90. The Knicks really just couldn't get anything going offensively. Manuel quickly was cold. You know, Jalen Brunson had a really, really, really good game in game 1. Had 20 points last night. So did Julius Randle. They couldn't really get anything going consistently on the offensive end. Darius Garland had himself a day last night with having 32. It's scary that they won with him dropping 32, right? And Donovan Mitchell only had 17, but he had 13 assists. Evan Mobley with 13 points and 13 rebounds. Karis LeVert is the guy that had a lot of other points and contributed to the scoring. But to be honest with you, none of their scores besides like Donovan Mitchell. Not Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland and Karis LeVert really stepped up. So that's scary that Spider Mitchell is yet to really go off in this series. I think in game 1 he went off, but when you're able to win, when your best player is not even scoring that much, that says something about your team. So just imagine what happens if they're able to actually get a 25-plus performance from him. Then the last game, you got Clippers Suns. Again, I knew the Suns weren't going to drop 2 in a row on their home floor. So that's why I just knew. This is another series, probably this is the 4-5 series out west. So this is another series that could potentially go 7. I don't necessarily see that. But this definitely can go 7. Kawhi Leonard with 31 points last night. Westbrook had 28. The Suns bounced back, man. And they now go on the road to LA with a chance to go up 2-1. KD had 25. D-Book had 38. They're gonna need that a lot this series if they want to get past the Clippers and eventually make a run. They're gonna need a lot of other people to step up. A lot of other people. That's one thing about their bench is it's not good anymore because they traded it all away for KD. But Torrey Craig stepped up pretty solid last night with 17. DeAndre Ayton with a double-double, 14 and 13. So, pretty solid day for them. D-Book had 38 and 9, so he was a distributor of the ball too. So, it was pretty solid for them. But, yeah, man. NBA playoffs in full swing. Washington Commanders' sale is one step closer to being complete. And the NFL draft is coming up in just 1 week. We'll be going live on the channel for day 1 of the NFL draft with Pedro Schmidt. So make sure y'all come through for that. But in due time, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. It was a nice, 30-minute episode, chopping it up with y'all at 5 a.m. This is top of the morning because it's still not even light outside, but wanted to switch things up and see how things was going to go. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. If you're listening to it on playback, how you doing? Hope your day goes well. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me. on your way out and on playback if you're listening. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't cost you a dime to subscribe. It's free. In this day and age, this is probably the only thing that is legitimately free. Doesn't have a catch to it or nothing. It's totally free. You don't have to pay any subscription. And if you're listening on the podcast platform, hit that 5-star rating and share it out so more listeners could tune in at the top of the morning. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys Friday morning for episode 18. Peace.